Okay, well, hello and welcome to my channel, where today we're continuing on with our Christmas decorating. This is family room part 2. In part 1, in case you didn't see it, make sure you watch it, we got to do the Christmas tree, which is over there. You can't see it right now. And I said there's a few more things coming. One of them that was coming is this cabinet that I'm building for my TV. It's not finished yet. I still have to do the doors, and I'll, in a little bit, you'll be able to see how I was able to make all this, because the idea is that I can cover up my TV. There's also other doors coming. These are the rejects. And then I'll be able to still decorate. So one of the things, I wanted to have it in place before I did my mantle, because I wanted to see how much space I have left. This thing has to protrude about that much. So if, of course, encroaching into my already kind of not huge mantle. So that's one of the things I have to take into account, that I'll have to decorate the mantle differently this year because of that. And I also want to be able to still open and close these doors without knocking anything over. So nothing tall will be allowed here. But I still have room to play kind of low. One of the things I'm thinking of too is maybe even doing this in a different way. But anyway, that's part of what I have to play. I did get some command hooks, so maybe I can swag this more, and that'll give me a little bit more room to play. But I don't know, because I usually like to put pine cones and things like that in the center, and if I swag it, a little trickier to put on. But anyway, so stay tuned and find out how we get to put all this together, take into account a swinging door above. Okay, well, hello there. So, about to start a very interesting project. As I mentioned, I have a TV above the fireplace now, which we didn't have before. We did a long time ago. But what I've always kind of bothered me about doing that is that if I want to put a wreath on the above the fireplace, I can, because I have a TV. So I wanted to have something that was more flexible. So I want to have a cabinet that when it's closed, you can still put a wreath on the door. You can put a piece of art. You can put whatever you want. And it will look like it was meant to be that way. So I figure, I'm sure people have made them and you can buy them, but I figure I can probably make it. It's not that hard. So so let me show you kind of what I had in mind here. I just did a quickie drawing here. Basically, it's going to be a box, right? And I measured the depth of the TV and everything installed is only like 3.5. So these are 1x4 boards, which are the ones right here. Right? So these are going to be my sides. And these are 3.5. Remember, the door goes on top of that, so there'll still be clearance. So the idea is that, right? I'm going to make a box that goes pretty much, this is the fireplace, how you can see it. It's going to go pretty much from there to there. I have a very short mantle. It's very small. But if I don't make it go all the way, it will look weird, it will look like a mistake. So I'm going to go from the mantle itself. But again, I don't want to be too thick either, because I still want to be able to put things in front. Like for Christmas, I want to be able to decorate my mantle. So that's going to be the experiment this year, to see if I can still make it all happen. And of course, there's always the issue of opening the thing, right? If you have something that's a door from top to bottom, whatever's in the front, it's going to go with it. So the thought was, how about, since I have the little dash line there is where the TV actually is. There's plenty of room, and it's not on the ground. So I'm going to use a 1x6. So this is just regular pine. So it's going to be a strip on the bottom and a strip at top, which will also give it a lot more strength, and that kind of thing. So I'll give it strength in the front, and then I'll probably, in addition to making the box, I'll probably put some 1x4s also on the back to also give it a little bit more support and strength. Now, the one issue that I have is apparently I don't have there's no wood there for support, so it's all going to have to be with, those kind of jib mollies, which I'm going to have to get some good ones, because it gets heavy when you put all that wood in there. The hardest part is going to be to really make sure they accordion properly. I just got regular, I got non-mortise hinges. Let me get them. Which are this kind, which I've used before recently. Again, I'm hoping this would work. I don't know if they're too big. I'll have to see. No, they might be okay. Anyway, so that's the idea, right? And then the last piece that I was able to get at Lowe's is a push latch, because I don't want to put hardware, right? Because I want it to look like it's just the wall. I don't want it to look like, I want it to, and I have kind of a darkish kind of color on the walls there. So I think I'm just going to stay in my dark coffee stain, which I have still tons of. So the idea is that you can push them and then collapse them out. So that's the experiment. Again, I'm not a big carpet. I know I little things, but not a whole lot. So this is kind of brand new territory for me too. I've done other kind of smaller things, you know. So I think I can do this. Like I say, it's basically a box with flat doors. So what else could go wrong? That I couldn't fix it. Anyway, so that's where we're gonna go. So the first order is gonna be to cut those pieces, and I'm gonna do a double check on my measurement to get my top and my bottom, and then and do the sides. And I'm just not gonna bother mitering or anything like that. I'm just gonna do, you know, like regular kind of this kind of thing. So anyway, let's see what happens. What I want to do for the door, instead of getting a huge 4x8, because that's kind of tricky for a single person to cut, and I don't, you know, we have a table saw, but I haven't used it very much. I bought what they call a project board. This is probably about the biggest size they have. It's 3/4 inch, 24 by 6 feet. So I could do two doors with each half. So I could get all four doors from here. So that is the plan. And what I like about it is that it's pretty straight. You don't have to worry about, you know, weird looks on the sides, like some plywood that looks weird on the sides. It looks pretty clean. It was like almost $40, but I thought it was worth the investment. So anyway, so that is going to be how I'm going to make my doors. And it should be pretty much just plain and straight cut. So that shouldn't be too bad. The tricky part is getting my measurements right. That's always the tricky part. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, all four sides are cut. Now it's time to screw them together. On my stash, I happen to have these exterior screws that are 1 5/8 and happen to be good size. And it says no pre-drilling, so music to my ears. One less step to do. So hopefully no splitting. Here we go. Okay, so my frame is complete. I got all four sides. Now I gotta do that 6-inch top and bottom. The 6-inch board. So I gotta cut that one to size. I think I did it. Yep. Okay, so that's the front. Now I gotta work on the doors. And then of course I'll sand it and fill it and all that kind of thing. So, okay, here we go. Okay, so now that I cut my big panel to the proper height, and then the doors are gonna go here. Now I gotta make 4 doors with these 2 pieces that I have. And again, being very wary about it, I think I'm gonna start with the 2 exterior ones. Put those on and then not even cut the other ones until I measure again. So I decided to get smaller hinges than those other ones I showed you earlier. I don't think this was gonna work. Tell you, me and hinges. So let's try these little ones. I like that they're black because again, the color that I'm gonna use for the stain is pretty dark. So they should blend in pretty nicely. First, I'm gonna put the hinges on the door, and then I'm gonna attach them to the cabinet. Okay, so I got the hinges on the door, and I gotta put them on the cabinet. And I just got some more. My scrap 1x4 is helping to support this. It's just the right place so that I can do them from here. Yay! Hope that works. Okay, so I got the 2 exterior doors. This one, I'm just gonna sand it up, and I should be fine. So they open all the way out, which is what I wanted. Now I gotta figure out the next doors, how thick they need to be or how wide, right? So that's my next thing, but at least we got those 2. So I think I need to allow at least an 1/8, not more, between each break. So I have 18 and a half minus 2/8 minus another 8. So let me do the math. Okay, well, the main structure is done. I ended up with a little bit too much of a gap in the middle, but I think I'm gonna put a bar behind it to kind of help them come together with the, when I do the push latch. But you know, my basic idea is here. And again, I gotta put a door stop so they have a place to go. But you see, they open like this. I figured it out. And then like that. That's kind of what I'm excited about. So I still have to stain. You know, I gotta sand everything. See, and then it's pretty compact when it opens up, which is what I wanted. I didn't want the door to be overwhelming. Okay, true confession time. Remember when I said I needed to put the door on top and that would clear the TV? Well, I messed up. I made the door inset. But it was a good thing because it would not have worked with my top section here. So I have a solution. Really, all I'm short is about 3/4 of an inch. And what is in here? 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a frame all around, and then this will also serve as the cleat. So it's dual purpose. There you go. I hope so. I cannot keep it. Make a mistake. Unfortunately, I had bought it for something else, and I also had this one. So between those two, I should be good. So let's get to it. Okay, I went ahead and added the piece. You can see it over there. It's all around. And I went ahead and also added the stops. I don't know if you can see them. I have a little extra left over. So that little piece there, here, and here, top and bottom, are the stops. So that the doors have a place to go. All right, now, I'm gonna work on that gap. So when these are closed, the gap in the middle is a little big. So I'm gonna put a piece of trim, which I happen to have, and I'm gonna put it on the middle like that. So, and then that will be the one that you would push to open the whole thing. So let's see how it goes. Here we go. Okay, all sanded and puttied and now cleaned up. Now it's time to put the stain on. I'm gonna use my gel stain, my coffee gel stain. Well, I had done, you know, all my coating of my stain on the back, and I left it here last night drying upside down, and guess what? It rained. And at first I wasn't too concerned, thinking, well, maybe the stain dried before the rain hit it, and I think it did to some extent because you could see some beading, so I think it got protected. But my doors, I don't know if you can tell, got completely kind of bent. Also, the wood expanded, so now, you know, when I try to close them, even though I had already worked out the fact that they would close nicely, now they kind of stick. So, I have various options. One of them is to make new doors, and another one is to live with it. So, I put another coat on the top, on the front. And I think because of the fact that this is slowing down my Christmas, I'm gonna have to live with it, and then maybe next year when I take Christmas down, I'll be able to maybe redo the doors. We'll see how I feel about them once I live with them. That's the joy of working outside. Well, guess what? My doors ended up being too warped to really work, and one of them had like a weird kind of curl up. I think it was the water or the kind of wood, so I'm gonna have to do plan B. And then plan B is going to be to make new doors. So here I'm sitting outside, and I bought plywood this time instead of a project board because I'm hoping this won't warp as much as the other thing did. So I had to spend more money. I had to buy 2 of these panels, so I didn't want to buy a whole 4x8. But anyway, so I'm And I'm remeasuring the doors, make sure I get them just right. So do overtime. Okay, now it's time to put the doors on. Wish me luck. Okay, finally finished putting in the new doors, and it was a process. Again, I kept unscrewing them and rescrewing them because I thought I was doing them wrong. So of course, as usual, I have extra holes that I had to fill. So I'm waiting for that to dry, and then once it's dry, I'm going to touch up the stain, and then I can close it. But just to give you a quickie kind of way, it's basically going to look kind of like that. I also put the catches on top, but I think I need another one on the bottom to make sure that it kind of stays a little bit more flat. But you know, not bad, not bad. I added this little thing here, sort of as the handle, but also to kind of hide the fact that my gap wasn't very good. But you know, basically push it in and it comes out. Push it in and it stays. And then on this side, same thing. See, it doesn't want to stay as well. Which I think is why it needs one at the bottom. Okay, well, here you go. It's gonna go look something like that, and then I'm gonna put my Christmas tree in the middle. So I can't wait for that. In the meantime, I'm gonna get it open to make sure all my holes dry out before I put the stain on it again. Okay, let me show you some of the elements that I'm gonna work with. If you saw my other video, you saw that I did some new ornaments this year for my tree in black and gold with some gold leaf, and I saved a few of them to be able to incorporate here. I already have some shatterproof ornaments you can see here at the end that I've clustered on. And the nice thing is, of course, those will not break. These are breakable, so I'm a little bit more worried about those. I may attach them with, you know, really well with clips and stuff like that. But anyway, this, for starters, this is just your typical kind of cheap, inexpensive garland you can find, and I already have some lights on it. One of my time-saving things that I do, by the way, is when I put this away for Christmas, I put it just like that with the lights and everything. I don't take things off. I leave as much as I can. You know, all the pine cones I see here, the cluster of lights, that's already wired in, so I don't take it off. I just kind of roll it back down in my bin, and that's how it stays. And then the next year I just have to drape it on. There's always some fixing and things like that you gotta do, but you know, you need all the help you can get with Christmas, right? So, okay, so let's get started and see what else we have. So I show you the ornaments. Let me show you what else I have. I have the ornaments. I thought it might be good to include some icicles, since that will again correlate to what I put on the tree to keep some consistency. And again, if you haven't seen the other video, I have some hanging from my ceiling as well. So I saved a few for here. I have this greenery that I got thrifting that I might be good to intersperse here and there just to give it a little bit more life. So it's not just so unidimensional. That is one of the good things you can do with a fake garland, right? You can add a lot of elements to make it feel more real. I have a few little things here that are mostly, you know, decorative, that I've used in the past. Are kind of nice to kind of bring some of the icy, kind of a snowy effect. Also have my little dove here and my little bird, which if I don't find room in the mantle, I'll probably just, you know, put them on the tree. And what is this? Oh, I also have this gold deer. And also I have a lot of pine cones. So let's get started and see what happens. Okay, I play with the idea of draping this, but really it doesn't really do me any favors. So in my case, especially because remember I have my stockings. In this, the nice thing about this stocking holders that they really kind of help to kind of also, they're pretty heavy and hefty, and they help to kind of hold the garland in place, right? Right now, I don't have to have anything, and I've never had a problem with the garland falling, anything like that, okay? Also, another tip, I don't know if you guys do this, but whenever you use these inexpensive garlands, one of the advantages that, remember, each of these things is a wire, so treat it like a wire. So whenever you need to, you know, wire something together, I just use the same, I don't get extra wire or anything like that, you know, use the same wire that comes in the garland. It's great for hiding wire. Oftentimes what I'll do is twist together if I see the wire there, and that helps disguise it, because of course we never want to see the wire. And also that helps for when you put it away, the better installed these lights are to this wire, the better they're going to stay put. And you don't have to mess with it too much next year. And they're already ready to go. And again, and it's an expensive one. If you buy the light garlands, it's a lot more expensive than buying this cheapo kind of plain garland and making it your own. So anyway, so I think we're gonna leave it where it is and kind of work with it. Just trying to keep in mind that I kind of do it any higher than this. So yeah, the other thing, stocking holders, we're supposed to hold a candle. So you see, that's one of the things I'm gonna have to give up by doing this TV thing here, because obviously they're too tall. That would not work. But I'm okay with that. Again, I've done those for years, so I'm okay trying something a little bit differently. So, now my next thing is to kind of find a good placement for my stockings. And I'll show you why. I have a screen here, and I have to be aware of how the screen hits the stockings, right? I mean, they'll need to be centered and have a center point right here. So, but I want to make sure that they look right. If I go too much one direction or the other, it might start hitting this corner, for instance, I might start looking a little funny. And if I don't want to put them inside, because then you kind of lose part of the stocking. So I think I'm going to leave them kind of where you see them right here. I'm going to see if I can make these things work, because usually this is more of a background. So I think it's better to start with these. More of the background for whatever else we use. So let's see how these are. See, they're pretty frilly on their own. Now, they don't give me a ton of difference in color, but they do give me a lot of texture change, which is good. So let's play with some of these. I usually work from the center out, so I think of it as a centerpiece. And I'm thinking this is my center line, so I'm gonna work from that point out. So you see that whatever I do on one side, I try to repeat on the other side to keep it symmetrical. See, it's already starting to fill up and look less like the cheap garland that it is. So that's what we're all about. It's the art of camouflage. Smoke and mirrors, as they say. Now, the next thing that I like to put early on is also a lot of natural elements. I love kind of very natural things that I can just forage at a local park. It just gives more that sense of kind of authenticity, you know, when you see like a real piece of wood, you know, in your arrangement. I don't know, I think it's beautiful. So I try to incorporate some of these sticks that I've had forever. And again, free stuff you can get from your yard, from a local park, anything that's falling on the ground. And I just gives it, especially with my theme of the winter wonderland, you know, it's really very organic. Now, I gotta keep in mind my door situation, right? So you can see it's not gonna hit it, so I'm good. I'm good there. And just also extends my design. Again, my mantle is kind of on the small side. For those of you who have large mantles, you can go to town. I'm not gonna put this one here, but for me, that's a beautiful thing. You know, I've used it before for something. In here, it's not gonna work now, but this long sticks wood. You know, and again, think of symmetry, right? So if I put two here, I need to put two over there. So think about that. Now, to bring again that winter wonderland that I'm looking for, another thing that is great to add is some of these kind of wintry kind of branches. And again, I usually use this in my table, so I'm not gonna use a ton of these, but some of them, again, we start needing some contrast, right? Everything's pretty muted right now. So it's a matter of deciding which one. I'm gonna go with this iridescent glittery one. Probably it's the best bang for my buck. Gives me a lot of impact, and I don't have to, you know, maybe do all the other kind. And again, I'm gonna start on one side and work my way to the other side. may do this one in half. I don't know. It feels like it's too big. Just this line. Okay, I think that's good for background. Let me give you a front view. Okay. So it has a lot of interest, a lot of depth to it because of all the little branches and so forth. And again, we can choose later. But now that gives me a good place to start adding the smaller pieces and the more ornamental, like the ornaments and some of the, maybe a few more pine cones. But you'll be amazed how much I can fit into this thing. It can hold a lot. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, I like one more thing. These big leaves, I like them because they're different. You know, they're nice big leafy shapes, and they're not super big. They're really pretty. I have a lot of that dark, which will go with the black stuff. So maybe just a couple of those. These little guys are always good to put. I usually put them in the center, kind of creating like a little centerpiece. Okay, so these are two more of the ones that I made. I'm going to add them to these now. And I think I'm going to do the same method. Find one of the branches and wire through there. Okay, I think I'm ready now to add some pine cones. Again, places where they won't hit the door. Try to find smaller ones. And those are just gonna nestle. I'm not gonna bother wiring them or anything like that. When it comes time to take it down, they're easy to take off. Okay, so I went ahead and put a few more pine cones. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's different from what I've done past years. I ended up using all these leaves. I thought I wasn't gonna use them, but I really love the way they changed the texture and a little bit more dramatic. The other stuff feels more like filler. This one's have more of a statement. But it's almost like a black on the other side. It's black and like a really foresty green. It looks really pretty. Well, here's a close-up of the garland on the mantle. It has all those elements that we talked about. The gold leaf, the sparkles of the new ornaments that I made. And they, they blended pretty well with the old plastic ornaments that were in it. I think overall I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, and then for coffee table, I made this ottoman a long time ago. I know it's my favorite color, of course. And of course, one option is to leave it since now we have the wall, which is that color. But I don't know, I think it'd be nice to cover it up. So I think I'm gonna head and put a throw on it. This is a particularly large throw, so I think I can fold it in half. I'm debating whether to really do it as a throw, but I literally throw it. I never learned exactly how to do these things. Made them up. Or at least some of the blue, or to cover it up completely. Let's try both ways, see what happens. Okay, well, I folded it. I don't know if you can see this, the fold in the middle, so that it wouldn't be too long, because like I said, this is a really long one, so it'll be too long on this side. But let's try it. Let's see it with the tray on top. Okay, well, there is with the tray. And again, this is not really a tray, as you could have figured it out. It's just a frame. I think I put a piece of foam core, and these were like strips that I had. Those metal strips are sold in the hardware store. I'm not sure for what, but anyway, so I made that a long time ago. And I've used it to make puzzles in, and for here, I'm just gonna make it like a giant tray, so that we can put a coffee cup and things like that. One thing that I don't know why I haven't thought of it before, I do have some handles I could add. I would give more the illusion that it's really a tray. So that's definitely a little DIY I'm gonna do. Now, in terms of what I put on it, I want to leave enough surface to be used as a table. And also, you can push it around if you want to put your feet on the ottoman, of course. This is just a book that I had. And I found that beautiful kind of old vintage Christmas Carol kind of book thing. And I just basically cut it out and just taped it lightly on my book so it doesn't damage my book. pretend that it's a caroling book, but it's just a Harry Potter book underneath. And the one in the back is one of the children's books that I found on the thrift store. And this is a little deer that I also found in the thrift store a long time ago, which I love. He's so cute. So I think that's going to be my coffee table. It's a little different. Now, in addition to that, I will have some pillows that are Christmas related. These are just what do you call those, pillow covers that I bought on Amazon, and they're pretty nice. The only thing is, again, make sure you get your insert bigger than your pillow, because otherwise you get the situation. You might have to have some stuffing or something, so it doesn't look so droopy. Over here, just two simple things. This is a little angel that I've had for a while that my husband gave me. It lights up. It's one of those little wooden houses, and it also lights up. Again, let me see if I haven't. Nope, still lighting. Good. Pretty cute. Again, they're batteries, so the longer you run, the faster you have to change it, so be aware of that. So anyway, these are some old pillows that I made. I think this is just fabric I probably bought. This is actually a pillow that I made out of a placemat from Target a long time ago, so that's why it's rectangular. This is just a pillow that I bought, and then over there I repeated the pillows. Now, the other thing to show you here is what I have above my sofa. And this is a little mirror thing that I made a long time ago. I made the frame, and those are shutters that I found in some garage sale or something, and I put them there. I did it so long ago. I think I tried to do a little crackle finish. It's very subtle. You have to get close to see it, and I think with this lighting you might not be able to. And then oh, I do have some lights in here. Let me turn them on. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so this is some little houses that I think they're from Dollar Tree. I don't remember where my little plush things are from. And the angel I made long time ago. If those of you who are old enough remember, I think they still sell them. At the fabric store, they would sell you like in a bolt of yarn, you would find this little cutouts that you could make a figurine out of, or some kind of project. That's what that was. It was kind of one of those kind of yard, kind of little project things you get from the fabric store. And I just added some lights and some pearls that I had. So that's my little, I don't know, my little centerpiece above my sofa. Now, the other thing I need to show you here, what happens as we come around the corner, is this little houses I made a long time ago. Actually, not that long, maybe 3 years. And basically, I had a bunch of kind of construction materials around for something I had done, and I said, I want to do something with this. And I just kind of did a lot of whitewash, and I think I did some of that burning technique where you burn the wood and then you sort of kind of whitewash it. I added some snow, some glitter, some little snowmen out of beads, and there were little kind of funky houses there. I think I saw something, I think in Walmart, something that I sort of wanted to replicate, but of course it came out different, but it's okay, it's my own way. And I've been meaning to put kind of more permanent lights on it. Sometimes I just wind some fairy lights on it, but I've been meaning to kind of do it more like a frame. I think it'll look better with a bit of a frame and real lights. One of these days it's gonna get that. And over here, of course, is the mantle, which you already saw. Now, the other thing I didn't get to show you in the mantle is what I'm doing underneath. Now, if you saw my fall video, you may remember that over here I have books and I have these lanterns. So I decided I like the lanterns there so much I wanted to keep them. So I went ahead, and also they have a great light, and they're not battery operated, so I don't have to worry about running out of batteries. So let me give you a close-up. Basically, I just got some foam underneath. I covered it with a little snow, and this is just cutouts from a cheapo garland. And again, little pine cones. I rolled up a little piece of music that I also got online. I did another of my pleated sheet musics, some of my ornaments, and it just makes for a really pretty kind of lantern there at the base. And they're supported by some books to give it a little extra height. And this is the large one, and this is my medium one. I have actually 4 of these that I made a long time ago. And I really like the way it turned out. They give really great light, and the books, they don't have to be really loud or calling attention to themselves, but I definitely wanted some sheet music there, and I got that in there. So again, it's very nice, fast project to make. If you have a lantern already of any kind, decorate it with some Christmas things, and it really makes an impact. So I think it finishes up my my fireplace pretty nicely. Now the last thing is, of course, to finish my doors so that I can put my wreath up there, which is right now over there, waiting patiently. So that will definitely complete the family room. So stay tuned for that coming up. Oh, and then I forgot to mention on this other little side, because I have one table over there and one here, I did the same thing. I got a book. This is a printout for printables that I'll put down below because I think they're very beautiful, kind of little illustrated vintage kind of music pages, and it has quite a few of them. So anyway, I just taped them lightly on the book so that they would stay there. And then that's my little stack of children's books that I bought from the thrift store. So there you go. There is my family room so far. Almost there. I would say 95%. Oh, and I forgot to show you the sofa table behind. These are some things that I already had. This is a really pretty nativity set that I got from Walmart a few years back. A little tree, that little church. These both light up on the timer, which is great. And some of my LED lights. It just sort of completes that little, you know, table there, and completes kind of my family room. So there you go. And finally, here it is. The cabinet completed. I put a command hook and I put my wreath on it. And of course, my battery operated lights on the wreath. And there you have it. Now I have my fully concealed TV. Now let's see if this even works, because, right, I put the hook on this. So the idea is that you can take the wreath with it. I don't know if you can see that. And then you can still, you don't have to take the wreath off every time you want to watch the TV. No, 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 no. We just take it with us. So that is the dealio. I might still get some more clips. Not clips, like the magnetic closures for the bottom, like I mentioned. But yeah, this one closes first. I think it's already in closed position. Oh yeah, they both are. So I'm gonna put this one in. And there it is. All done.